everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 522. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
And I am Mako-chan.
And it's a 2-for-2 show tonight. Ari is out because he's working the mid-shift, and Wild Spice couldn't make it tonight because she had an emergency at home. I hope that everything is working fine. Everything is good, so you know. Man, what a day. What a day. What a week it's been. Hopefully the video is working the way it should. I'm watching the real-time playback and everything looks great. I don't know what I did, but it looks like my webcam is more focused on my shirt now. Usually, like, you don't see the whole thing, which I'll talk about during my weekend day, but enough about that. So, Mako-chan.
Yes.
How are you doing? How are you this week?
It's been a very interesting couple of weeks.
Oh, you too?
Yeah, I put a bid in on a house and, it went through attorney review and I'm like, awesome. And then they're like, hey, he's, accepting it. And then not even an hour later, we got notice from his lawyer. Yeah, he's canceling the contract. And it took us almost 24 hours to find out why. And it seems somebody decided that they were going to do a cash offer.
Oh.
So it meant a quicker closing and he would have the money, right then and there. So back to the grind on that. But yeah, that's, other than that, it's just been my normal trying to get some shit together. Had a Halloween party, which was very low key for me, but considering we didn't want to, decorate and go crazy with that, just to have to pack it back up anyway. So we didn't really do anything like that. And that was very weird. And then Halloween, we didn't have any trick-or-treaters come around. So that was really weird too. So it's been a very mellow, kind of weird, lazy, off-putting 2 weeks.
I believe it. And I just realized we just rolled right into how was our week. So I'm like, and I just realized it's why not, just roll with the flow of it, Oh man. Well, work is going good. More people are coming back in. So in a way, I'm happy about that, which means I have less downtime, futzing around on social media, But at the same time, I kind of miss my downtime, but also, one can only watch so many hours of YouTube in a day. Also, if you haven't noticed, the audio quality is slightly different. I upgraded the mixer, so I went out and got it, and I've been playing around fiddling with it, and I've been trying to test out certain scenes and so forth, just seeing how things are going to go and all of that, But, we'll see. I ended up buying another mixer, and I'm going to be trying that one out next week because my last mixer I had, it's good, but I needed something a little bit more, like, oomph behind it. Something a little bit more with the microphone aspect of it. So, the old mixer is going to go to a friend. So, they do a podcast, her and her fiance. So I'm like, pay it forward. And as La Chocolate says, it sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm looking at it now, and it looks like the video is properly synced. Everything is good. Thank God for the littlest stuff. What else is there? I realized that Target brand socks suck. Yeah, the material they make the socks are thinner than Hanes, because I'm walking around in my sneakers. I'm like, I don't slide around in my sneakers. What the hell? Last week, my friend Jasmine first time we've met face to face because we've been online friends for 20 freaking years, you know. So we hung out, had a good time. The main thing she wanted to do while she was out here was go to Nintendo New York, so we went there and hung out there, and that was pretty fun. That's basically has been it. That and ordering new sleep pants from Old Navy. That I can't think of anything else. How my week has been, you know. Except that behind me, you know, it looks a lot neater because I finally got around to packing up all of the boxes and just and putting them outside. And due to this chaos with the with New York City, in case you haven't heard, New York City has a mandate for all city employees to be vaccinated, and there are a bunch of city workers who are pissed off about this, which has been causing issues with everything. Like garbage didn't get picked up till like Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of people who don't want who are refusing to be vaccinated are either retiring from their jobs or cashing in their sick days. It's crazy, man. It's totally crazy. But that's basically been it. So, you know. Also, another thing I like about this mixer, I don't know if this may have happened on prior episodes. Sometimes when my phones buzz, you'll hear static or something. And for a while, I couldn't figure out what it was. So I realized it was the phones. So I would move them to the other side of my desk. But so far, it's good. You know, I got like this big old fancy Allen and Heath ZE8 mixer. And for what it does, it's really good. But I think it's a little bit overkill for what I want to do. But I'm saying this is perfect for somebody. If you're doing a show in-house with two people, and you can set it to have like separate tracks for the microphones and the line ins and stuff like that. So, and I realized that's something I don't really need because as y'all know, I'm live and I'm running the console and everybody else jumps in on Skype. And the only issue with that is I have to be careful with my microphone because I've gotten some people have let me know that my voice is a little bit too powerful over everybody else's. So I have to adjust the mic. So, and I think the way I have it now, I'm good. So, and that's fine. And I'm looking at Audition, and I don't like how low this sounds, but it's not hard for me to go ahead and make proper updates, you know, make it sound louder. You know, I can do that. That's not that big of a deal. Yeah, because I'm looking right now, and it's like, you're coming in loud, I'm coming in a little soft. I'm going to try to bring my microphone up a little bit more. And it does sound like it's the way it should be. That's good. Also, you know how I during the summertime, I would have to do the show with the window open and the fan on across the room?
Yeah.
I might have to do that again. Oh, God.
It's hot again?
Yeah, the heat.
Oh.
The heat is on, and I just probably have to just open the window, but it's like when I used to live up in the Bronx, my room got so hot that even with the windows open on blast, it was still hot. But so that's enough of our weekend day. Hopefully, Ari will be back next week. Wild Spice may join us next week. It depends on her work schedule, how things are going with her. So we'll let you know, be updated. Follow us on the Book of Face for updates in regards to that. So now we're going to get into housekeeping. So I want to give y'all some updates. Oddly enough, I realized I haven't wrote the PoochieCon convention report, and I've been writing it for like the last week and a half. And it's just like pulling teeth.
Well,
Yeah.
It wasn't a very big convention. It wasn't, we were there for, 6 hours?
Yeah.
7 hours?
Mm-hmm.
And, for the most part, it wasn't a very good convention. So it's very hard to try and write a non-biased.
I know, among other things. So
that is why I did. That is why I did not do it.
Shh, okay, but enough about that. Every episode of Anime Jam Session, going back to the beginning of 2021, is available on YouTube. YouTube.com/Anime Jam Session. Look for the video playlist, podcast VODs, and you'll find them there Thursdays at 12 p.m. if I don't forget. Check out the VOG Network Pro Shop at vognetwork.com/shop. Cool merch there from the Voice of Geeks Network featuring the Bobby Blackwolf Show and Orange Lounge Radio. So buy some swag. Support independent podcasters, independent bloggers, independent Twitch streamers. We're awesome like that. And also, here is our pending convention list. As I said, this may change based on availability, COVID rules and restrictions, and so forth. The Unconvention, November 12th to the 14th. Anime NYC, November 19th to the 21st. And ZenkaiCon, March 25th to 27th, 2022. Okay, let me update that. Now we're going to get into Geek Roundtable. Mako, you tell them about what you have while I temporarily turn off my my screen while I run to the restroom. I will be right back.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, I have been looking for an Ita bag for myself for quite a while, and they finally came out with one that I kind of wanted. So as everybody knows, I am a huge Supernatural nerd. So Stan's, which is the shop that a lot of the actors go through for charity items and things like that when they sell stuff. Stan's actually, they went through and created this bag. So I now have an Ita bag of the Impala from Supernatural. And the cool part is, one, it's big enough that I can actually put my tablet in it. And the other thing is, it is double-sided.
Oh, good Lord. You're such a fangirl.
And yes, it is the front and the back. So it is double-sided. I kind of wished that the window was a little bit bigger, just because you can't really see a lot of pins. The backing, though, goes all the way down. So because of that, if I wanted to put, extra pins or something like that on there, they would be there, but you can't really see them. But I'm excited. It actually has, like, the zipper pulls are little cassettes. I don't know if you can see the one that's in here. It's a mock of that. Yeah, I'm a geek.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. But yeah, that is my new precious.
Wow. Okay. Before we get into my Geek Roundtable, Bonzo06 mentioned the con list again. Let me repeat that for you. The Unconvention, November 12th to the 14th. Anime NYC, November 19th to the 21st. ZenkaiCon, March 25th to the 27th, 2022. And as I've said, this is all based on availability of staff members and local regulations and restrictions of COVID within that state and the venue event itself. So a couple of things. When I went to AAC, something that I forgot, I guess, I'm not sure if I forgot to mention, but it didn't cross my mind, and, but a friend of mine got me this shirt as a gift, and it says "Wicked Smart" in a really bad Boston accent, which is the typical Boston accent. So I told her I would wear it on the next time I would stream, which was that would be available. Last week I wore the AAC shirt, and this week is the Wicked Smart shirt, and also my friend also had a surprise for me, and honestly, I didn't know what the surprise was. So I'm like, all right, what's going on? And in a way, I'm kind of shocked and kind of honored, but I just wouldn't expect someone to tell me this. So my friend came out. And,
That's cool.
Yeah. And I'm like, are you happy? And she's like, yes. And I looked at her partner and I'm like, are you happy? Yeah. And I'm like, that's all that really matters. And I said to her, my expression is normal. I'm happy for you. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Nothing is going to change between us. That's basically is it. So, so she's good and she's happy. So it's it. And that's that about that, and the Wicked Smart shirt. And no, I am not going to do a Boston accent throughout this episode. I don't
Good.
I don't think my voice can handle it.
I don't think I could handle it.
Well, I mean, we did survive those PAX East conventions and at One Anime Boston.
Yeah, well, I vaguely remember that. I remember a lot of alcohol and very, very tired driving.
Yes, and that Russian dice game called Game.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get into tonight's topics, because we have a little bit of time, I want to tell y'all about that time I got into a pissing contest with a con chair that is a known sexual deviant, sexual assaulter / rapist, and fraudulent asshole.
Well, let's start at the beginning of this.
Well, if we start at the beginning of this, we're not going to get to the end of everything else. But
no, I'm just the very premise of it is that they found out through the Milwaukee
Anime Milwaukee, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the post was actually from the Milwaukee cosplayer group.
Right.
She found out, the person that posted it found out that because she had gone to a couple of Ryan Kampf shows, i.e. Anime Milwaukee, his cosplayer geek dating site,
My Otaku,
has her information. Come to find out that anybody that had their information for any of his shows, their information is now attached to this dating site.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes people that are underage.
And also it includes your credit card information. Now, here's how that part happened. And I discovered this through a friend of mine I like to call a CI, a confidential informant staffer, former staffer of Ryan's conventions. Ryan runs a site called Cons MX. It's basically it's a site for ticketing and so forth. You know how you have Ticketmaster and brown paper tickets and all that? Cons MX is his version for conventions. So he uses that for all of his cons to manage, user information and financial information. That's all one database that's connected to My Otaku, which, from my understanding, some people have been billed for accounts that they do not have. Now, before Mako had posted the article on what was going on our Facebook page, this popped up last week, and there was more information. I don't remember where I saw it, but I thought this would just blow over, but it didn't because there was more information. So I go ahead and make a comment about the whole thing, and let me see if I can pull it up real quick, because I'm not going to sit here and kind of show off my Twitter and go through all of that. No, I'm not going to go through all of that. So basically, I said, okay, let's go back. Let's see. I said, wow, Ryan Koff out here stealing people's names and credit card information to fund his My Otaku dating site. I guess his right hand wasn't enough for him. And I just left it at that. I never would have thought a lot of people would like and retweet it. Whatever. So last night, before I went to bed, I got pulled into a series of tweets by him explaining the bullshit. And let me pull that up because that's on a different link that I have here. No, did I go back too far? Yeah, I did. Here we go. Because this tweet came out very late last night. He goes, by telling you to go find your profile on myotaku.com, these people had you unwittingly create a profile on MyOtaku. Stop believing things you are told on Twitter. And he tagged a bunch of us. And then he's talking about how this is an SSO. And that's how it works. I'm going to give you all a quick lesson on SSO. Single security, single sign-on. That's basically what that means. If you have a username and password at your job to log in to various sites and resources or to clock in and stuff like that, that's an SSO. It could be your first name, last name, or a custom username. It could be a series of numbers or whatever. That's what that's for. That connects you to a series of servers and data to allow you to get to that behind that information. An SSO is not the same as logging into YouTube and then going to your Gmail and getting a confirmation that's you or this or that. That's not an SSO. SSOs do not connect you to web-based information like that. That's the meat and potatoes of what that is. And Ryan is basically trying to explain to me and 3 other IT guys that our definitions of SSO is incorrect. And there are people who are mad and screaming at him about all of this, and he continues to backpedal. Till one of my favorite lawyers jumps in on this, T. Greg Duchette. And if that name is familiar, he did a breakdown of the Vic lawsuit and the whole Threadnought debacle, if you remember that. If you're not sure, go on Twitter, #Threadnought. That's all you need to know. And he basically broke down what Ryan said. Basically, Ryan confessed to a federal crime on Twitter. The fact that, basically, according to Ryan, when you sign up for one of his convention sites for information, that information gets connected to other sites that he runs, which is why you have an account and so forth. So basically, if you go on his site, create an account to purchase a ticket for one of his shows, that account information gets pushed to MyOtaku and creates an account for you that sits there. And if you go to the site and search your name, you'll find it, and then you have to delete it if you want to keep it or not. Now, I said at the top of all of this that about things about Ryan. He has been accused of sexual assault. I have a friend who basically explained a lot of that was from a vindictive ex who started all of that, which I understand. As for how that plays out, not my business. But him trying to be a professional con runner, not so much. This is somebody who actually sends C&Ds and sues people if he doesn't like what you say about his shows and so forth. Now, I knew about Ryan. I covered 2 of his shows, Liberty City Anime Convention. And that was it. I covered it for the sake of being a reporter, not a fan of his shows or anything like that. I just needed to do convention review. That's what it was. Being very independent. His shows were average at best. I think Liberty City is like a revenge con or something like, well, I could do a New York City convention too, but yeah, as you can see, that con is no more. And I'm just going to leave it at that. As of right now, everybody correcting him, telling him his information is wrong. He hasn't said anything. He feels he is correct in his own head. And you know what? I'll let that be. That's basically on him. Whatever. I don't care. But I will say this. good luck coming to me with C&D wanting money because you can't get blood from a turnip. I'm already broke as it is. What makes you think you're going to get any more money out of my ass? And besides, the judge is going to throw it out anyway because, you know, what I'm saying falls under fair use. If you don't like it, get out of the con business. Simple as that.
Yeah, pretty much. Everybody's going to have their opinions on conventions.
Could you imagine how the world would be if you could sue somebody over their opinion and win? Good Lord. Granted, there are laws in regards to that things have happened, but I'm just talking about just straightforward bullshit like that.
An opinion that doesn't cause any issue to anybody is an opinion that is not suable. That's like that's like trying to sue somebody for coming up to you and going, "I don't like you."
That's basically Ryan. I don't like you. I'm going to sue you.
I don't like you. Here's my lawyer.
Law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Granted, I'm connected with a different law firm that's blank, 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 and Lowenstein, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Anywho, let's move on with the show. I think we're just going to bounce back and forth, you know.
Okay.
You know what? Take the first one, and I'll grab the next two.
Okay.
Because the fourth one is basically your fandom.
The fourth one is my fandom?
Fruits Basket.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, unfortunately, it looks like the end for the Gundam Cafe in Japan.
That's sad.
After an 11-year run, it is actually going to be closing. And what's kind of funny and bittersweet is that they actually just announced that they would be putting new food and drink into the cafes.
Wow.
That was only, a couple of days ago, but as of yesterday, it was announced that the four cafes would be closing permanently in less than 3 months. They didn't exactly give you a decent time frame for that. So no reason has been given for the closure, but it's likely that severe travel downturn caused by the pandemic played a large part. All of the cafes are located in neighborhoods that, under normal public health conditions, receive large numbers of visitors, not only from other parts of Japan, but from overseas. Because even, say, non-otaku go into Akihabara, where one of the Gundam cafes is. The shutdown brings to a close more than a decade of Gundam cafe history, and the chain took a moment to thank its fans while breaking the news. Quoted, "We opened our first cafe in Akihabara in April of 2010, and our customers have supported us at every step along the way. On behalf of our entire staff, we are more grateful to you than words can express. We don't have much time left, but we will continue doing our utmost so that everyone who visits can have wonderful memories to take home, and we hope you'll enjoy yourselves at our cafes right up until the very end." So, they did say, please look forward to our next project. So there is a possibility that they will either be, renovating and possibly moving or doing something in order to come back.
Okay.
So the last day for the Gundam Cafe in Osaka will be January 10th. The Gundam Cafe in Tokyo, which is the brand core store in Akihabara, the cafe in Odaiba, and the cafe in Fukuoka, those will be closing January 30th. The cafe at the Gundam factory in Yokohama facility, that is going to remain in operation, but only until the end of March, when the entire center will shut down.
Wow. I was not expecting that. My thought was maybe because of what's going on with the pandemic, they're increasing the rent to the point where, it's just not feasibly fundable to do this,
That actually, that is very possible.
Yeah.
It did happen quite a bit in our area.
Oh, I know.
That a lot of people, a lot of places were unable to pay their rent, so they had no choice but to close. Something like this definitely could have happened, so it's possible that they will close until they are back on their feet and are able to, I guess, restart and reopen. But otherwise, as of right now, by the end of March, there will be no more Gundam cafes in Japan.
I figure, they're gonna reopen. They're gonna find a new location for one cafe and kind of start all over or something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's and my guess is that having 4, technically 5 open at this point, probably isn't helping either.
True.
So it's possible that they're going to close the 5 that are there right now and find someplace cheaper and just, have one for now. But unfortunately, the good thing is that the numbers in Japan are finally coming down.
Well, that's good. And
the bad news is it took too damn long for it to happen.
And the weebs will finally be able to use their $200, $300 round trip tickets to Japan and go. Oh wait, borders are still closed. Whoops.
Yep.
They'll all be in at the airport singing the opening theme to Pokemon with signs that says "Let us in."
I somehow see that happening.
Exactly.
I somehow see that happening.
And VX_8 says, another thing in Japan I'm going to miss out on. Bro, I'm kind of missing out on that. A lot of us are. I'm just lucky because Mako-chan got us Gundam Cafe mugs, okay? You did get yourself one, right?
Of course I got myself one.
So, yeah. We have mugs from the Gundam Cafe, so we're kind of lucky. We didn't go, but we had one of our staffers, Rose, was living in Japan for a couple of years, and she was basically, our hookup. But move right along, and we're going to talk about a very popular medieval anime called The Slayers, and it just celebrated its 30th anniversary, which I think is hella awesome. All right, there we go. It just flipped right up. Now, they just had their anniversary project. But what's cool is the people behind The Slayers are going to put out a physical copy of that, a DVD or Blu-ray. Basically, it's all of the contents related to the project. It's an 80-minute, more or less, documentary that includes Lena Inverse's 3D live concert footage that we talked about a few episodes back. Basically, it was called the Lena Channel. You're also going to get the memorial movies from the novels, event movies of Slayer's Town, and a message from the author Hajime Kanzaka and the illustrator Rui Araizumi. For a short period of time, Central Park Media actually put out the Slayers manga. Unfortunately, I don't think it got past issue 4, and I think I have them.
Yeah, I don't think we got all of it.
Yeah. Now, when this DVD Blu-ray kit has a brand new package illustration drawn by Araizumi, it comes with a booklet containing a new short story by Kanzaka. Pre-orders are going right now to November 30th, and it'll start shipping in December. So I think this is really cool. Now, what's even more is that there's going to be a thank you festival, because they're going to commemorate this with an event at the EJ Anime Theater in Tokyo in 3 days. It's going to go from November 5th to the 28th. Now, up on the 4th floor of this place, you have what's called Lena 3D Live. It's basically a concert that's going to be screened. They'll be selling merch. And up on the 5th floor, there'll be a cell gallery, and you can be able to purchase memorial drinks that are based on the characters, which is really cool. I think that's kind of awesome. And as Questbuster says, it's been so long since I've watched any Slayers, but the first theme song is still stuck in my head. Bro, let me tell you a quick story. I was hanging out with the voice actress of Slayer, Lena Inverse, Lisa Ortiz. We're just talking and shooting the shit. And as we're talking, I'm realizing I can't separate her from Lena because her voice is basically on point. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but every time I'm talking to you, I keep picturing Lena Inverse, you know? Good times.
Yeah, that is a very weird thing to have to deal with when you're actually just trying to have a conversation with somebody that happens to use their real voice or a very, very close simulation of their real voice for their characters. And you can't get that out of your head.
I just have 2 words for you.
Kyle
Hebert.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And as I start to go into my next story here about Band-Maid, one of my favorite all-girl J-rock bands. Let's advance that. I pull up my Twitter account, and the comments that I've made towards Ryan in regards to IT and SSOs are still going. Like over 30 to 40 people are liking and retweeting. I'm like, okay. I guess I said something that makes fucking sense. Whatever. So, as you all know, if you don't know by now, Band-Maid is one of my favorite bands. I saw them live in New York 2 years ago. I saw them the Thursday before I went to AAC, and I missed out on like the meet and greet tickets by like 5 minutes because of a damn morning meeting. I was telling one of my coworkers, he was like, you should have just went to the bathroom and said, excuse me, I gotta go. Wish I had thought about that back then, but you know, it is what it is. And maybe when things die down, Band-Maid will come back to the US for another tour and I can get another opportunity. So, basically, there is an anime called Platinum End. And Band-Maid has done the ending theme to it, Ko Fukuran. Let's see. All right, so basically they're going to do the opening theme to it called Sense. And I think that's really cool. Here's a little bit of background information on Band-Maid. They were formed 8 years ago, and they made their debut from Nippon Crown on May 18, 2016 with their first album, Brand New Made. That is it. I thought it was under a different name, but that's correct. Their style is hard rock, which is contrary to their maid costume. Think of all girls wearing maid outfits singing hard alternative rock music. That's basically the best way I can describe them. You should check out their YouTube page. The videos are just amazing. Now, around the time of their fourth album, Unseen World, which came out earlier this year, they switched to the Pony Canyon label. Their first single from Pony Canyon, which is their 8th one, is Sense, which is the opening theme to Platinum End. That ranked 8th on the Oricon Daily Single Charts on its first day, and that's pretty freaking awesome. So basically, it goes down like this. The TV adaptation of Tsugumi Oba's story and Takeshi Oba's art's dark fantasy manga Platinum End premiered in Japan on October 7th, 2021, and has also been available on Crunchyroll, available in the Americas, Europe, Africa, Oceania, Middle East, and CIS. I have no idea what that means. So basically, if you want to hear the opening theme real quick and you have Crunchyroll, just fire up the app and look up Platinum End, or just head over to their Twitter, twitter.com/bandmaid, and there is a link to the video which is available on YouTube. I believe their YouTube page is youtube.com/bandmaid. If not, just go to twitter.com/bandmaid. There is a tweet that links directly to the video. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I watched it. It was good.
Yeah, we listen to them a lot when we're traveling, too.
It is definitely good music to travel to.
Definitely. Now, back to your fandom.
Yes, back to my fandom. So, I know that we had spoken about this a little while ago, that Fruits Basket was going to get a prequel. Well, what is going on is that this is going to actually be on a compilation film. So it was announced last Friday that the anime is going to get a compilation film titled Fruits Basket Prelude. That will open in Japan on February 18th. The film will include the previously announced Kyoko and Katsuya's story, which is it's centering on the backstory of Toru's parents, Kyoko and Katsuya, which the 2019 and 2021 series did not adapt. The film will also include new scenes written specifically for the film by Tayaka, depicting events from after the television anime story. So it's, gonna be the same voice actors coming back to do this. And it's going to be, I really do enjoy compilation films just because it gets to, it's basically just plot. It's, very little of anything else, but I like when they do something like this. So you get a prequel and you get a little bit extra on the end of it. So it's not just a full retelling of the story. You do get new information. So I am very interested to see this. I still haven't watched the series yet. I'm very bad. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It is going to be, Japan does a lot of these types of things in theaters. So it is going to be an actual movie in the theaters in Japan. And considering Funimation has Fruits Basket, I would not be surprised if it eventually came over here for, a 1 or 2 day screening.
Well, they do have the rights, so, I do see that happening.
Yeah, they're good for that.
All right. And on a side note, the New York City mayor race is over. We have a new mayor, so we're going to get another 4 years of a Democrat. Okay. Fair. Didn't vote for him, but it is what it is. I voted for the other guy because I knew more about him than the Democrat, but if the next 4 years turns out to be a lot better than the last 4, then I ain't going to complain. So. Now, this next story is pretty cool because if you notice, like when you look at our website or our stream and you see the fonts on here or the images like on our business cards and so forth, it's like a particular font. Or there are certain people. I don't want to say certain people, but there are other like streamers or graphic artists who use like anime based fonts. And they look very familiar to something from an anime or this or that. Like when the re-release of Sailor Moon, there were specific fonts for that. There were specific fonts for like the 25th anniversary Sailor Moon logo and so forth. And it gets crazy like wildfire. Like there's generic like video game fonts, 8-bit fonts, Nintendo fonts, Sega fonts. That all that cool stuff. Now, what's interesting is that the calligraphy fonts from Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba are now part of Adobe fonts. So it's 2 different fonts, Kokuryuso and Shinryuso. They have been added to Adobe fonts as of Wednesday, which basically last Wednesday. Which reminds me, I gotta fire up Adobe and double check that. So basically, this is the description of these fonts. Kokuryu is a brush script display typeface designed to evoke the image of a male dragon wildly flying in a sky filled with dark clouds. Heavy and light strokes formed with the contrast of fast and slow stroke motions bring to the mind the dynamics of a dragon's raging emotion. Kokuryu's letter shapes are not constrained by the square type body, and his dynamically drawn letter shapes may look imbalanced, but when composed into words, they produce a strong and well-harmonized image. The Kokuryuso in Adobe Fonts is a version of Kokuryu with fewer blurred strokes, which reduces the data size. It'll be useful for letter cutting and animation or video clips. Cool. Shinryu is a brush script typeface designed with the image of a gentle male dragon speaking to us. Its thin strokes make it possible to give a tender image while it looks dignified when used for text. The Kokuryuso in Adobe Fonts is a version... Well, thank you very much, Anime News Network, for repeating that last paragraph. Christ. Now, the fonts were produced by the Kagoshima-based font production and distribution company called Showa Shotai. The company's fonts are also used for a variety of food and drink products like onigiri and sake, as well as for entertainment works like the video game Dynasty Warriors 6 and the television drama Rikuo. The new additions to Adobe Fonts are part of a new lineup of Japanese fonts for the service, which includes Higumin, the first Adobe original Japanese font in 3 years. According to the Adobe blog, the service now has over 20,000 fonts. The full list of available Japanese fonts can be accessed via the Adobe Creative Cloud. And what's interesting, when you look at our logo and it's in Japanese, that's a different font that I found I threw in there. So maybe I'll grab these Adobe fonts and play around and see how it looks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way it looks, and it does give me an idea for a shirt. I just want to see how that plays out, so.
So, you want to feel old?
Don't go there.
Today is the 20th anniversary of Caramel Dancing.
Ah, God damn you. God damn you.
Hey, Rose posted it, not my fault.
It's not even that. One of my voice acting friends, PM Seymour, posted that, and I was like, oh God. Okay, all right. Since we brought this up, story time. This was I believe 2006. I believe. This is when I went on my second trip to California. First time actually hanging out with Loki, Rob, and Jamie. This was like an actual vacation I had taken. And we were on, this is when they were streaming on Justin TV before it became Twitch TV, you know. And I was there with intern Drew and Dark Tetsuya hanging out at the show, which was kind of cool. You know, we're in the background and so forth talking, you know. And back then, Orange Lounge Radio used to do what was called a cage match. 3 songs they would play, and everybody would vote on which song that they wanted. The winning song would go into rotation. At the time, before the Voice of Geeks network, Orange Lounge Radio had their own streaming station on Live 365. So that's where you would find that. So I believe I suggested Caramel Dancing, and it went up in there. And as the song is playing, me and Drew are in the background going back and forth with our hands, you know, dancing in our seats like the idiots that we are.
I know that there was at one point video of this.
There is video.
I don't know who has it or where it is, but there is video of this somewhere.
John Bressler has or had the video. If he doesn't, I know Drew or Dark Tetsuya has that video, okay? So I think when we got to that part, I think Jamie was like, no, pull the song. And I believe it got automatically disqualified. Oh, but here's the best part. Back when, you know, when DDR was really popular and people were creating their own step charts and whatnot, Dark Tetsuya created OLR-based step charts and packs for Stepmania. And it was Orange Lounge Revolution. And I think it was Volume 1 or Volume 2. Caramel Dancing is on there, and when you play it at that certain point, there is video of me and Drew dancing along in the background.
Good times.
Yes, good times indeed. I should actually tweet out to them and be like, do y'all have that video? God, okay, all right. Please continue.
All right. So, for the 50th anniversary, feeling old, for the 50th anniversary of Lupin the Third, Part 1 premiered in Japan on October 24th, 1971. And to commemorate for the 50th anniversary, distinguished creators and celebrities in Japan have released tribute messages. So various manga creators and, artists and things like that, they decided that they were going to draw and illustrate various, characters or things like that. What really drew me to this is that Detective Conan's manga creator, Gosho Ayoma, ended up drawing Fujiko in his style, and it is adorable. It's very off-putting though, because Fujiko does look, she looks so adorable. She doesn't really look, sexy like Fujiko should.
Yeah.
She's just kind of got that, innocent look to her. But other animators, some prominent Lupin the Third animators, ended up drawing various scenes and characters. Kazuhide Tomonaga ended up drawing and featured in a TMS Entertainment documentary. So he actually drew that live during the documentary.
Oh, that was cool.
Other contributors include City Hunter manga creator Tsutsuka Hojo, Great Pretender anime writer Ryota Kosawa, writer and DJ Kenichi Ono, anime critic Ryota Fujitsu, and actor Tadanoba Asano. All did little spins on their illustrations and creations as well. They did end up delaying the planned world premiere of the English dub for Lupin the Third Part 1. That was actually supposed to air on Sunday, but I believe it ended up... No, it was supposed to air October 21st,
right,
but only aired this Sunday.
Yeah.
It's kind of exciting that there's so much stuff going on for Lupin. It is one of my favorite series.
We have to get a Lupin group together.
That would be fun.
I should poke Alcrea and be like, yeah, since you drive around in Lupin's car, we need a Lupin group. And I think we should cross it over with Mario Brothers, Mario the Third.
That would be interesting.
I mean, Luigi running around as Jigen.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I got to think about that.
Nice.
That would be a very interesting crossover.
Bowser as Inspector Zenigata. Oh, I think I'm gonna be messaging somebody later tonight or tomorrow. Oh man. And Bond006 reflects comments back on my discussion about Caramel Dancing. He says, I remember intern Drew, the cage match, good old days, back when he got the show's audio on his PSP. And I believe you could thank Loki for that one, for putting that together. I think the domain was olrpsp.com, something like that. All right.
Well, I was unable to find the Mario characters in the style of Lupin, but there is a fan art of Lupin as Mario-esque for Super Lupin 3.
Okay.
It is actually a sticker on TeePublic.
What?
So that means it can be a shirt on TeePublic.
Yo, that would be awesome.
I might need that. I am posting the link. Yeah, it is only coming up as a sticker, though.
Oh yeah, that's
oh
cute.
no, there, it's a t-shirt.
There you go. Yeah, I see it. T-shirt, phone case, mug. Yup. I mean, John Cena has a similar shirt like that, style like that for a shirt. I need to get my hands on that.
Mm.
Super. That is awesome. That is awesome.
I might have to get that. I might have to get that.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, now that we got that out the way, we're at the part of the show that y'all really enjoy more than anything else. Meanwhile, in Japan, we're only going to do 2 of the stories tonight, so... I'm going to do the 3rd one because I got words about that one.
Okay, I will do the 2nd one and we can move the other 2 for next week.
Sounds good. Since you're always cold, this is definitely right up your alley.
I want one.
Of course you do.
So, designer's goal was to, make a portable kotatsu. So, yay, Japan. Y'all are weird, but I love you. So yeah, after a warmer than usual early autumn, cold weather came rushing to Japan over the past week. As is so often the case, the unorthodox answer for how to cope with increasingly chilly air comes from Japan gadget maker Thenko, with what it's calling the Kotanpo. Is a wearable one-person kotatsu, evoking the name of the low Japanese table with a heater on the underside to keep your legs warm. Instead of furniture, though, the kotanpo is closer to a blanket, but it does have a flexible heating pad inside its lining, which you can switch on to keep yourself nice and toasty. That's not the only special feature, though. It also has front pockets for hands, straps on the sides to keep it fitted to your torso, and looks absolutely ridiculous. It also has a flap on the bottom, so you can stick your feet out if you need to walk around with it. And then when you're sitting down, it comes right over and you can tuck your feet right back in. So it is kind of like you are walking around wearing a heated toga. Not for nothing. I kind of want one, but at the very same time, you could just get a heating blanket.
Yeah, but this one you can actually wear, okay?
Yeah, but you can just get a heated blanket. And anyway, so you can choose between one of 6 heat settings, and since it seems like a given that you'll doze off while wrapped, you can set a timer for 30, 60, or 90 minutes. It is ordered through Thenko's online shop and is priced at about $86 with delivery scheduled for November. Let me see. It does not look like there is an English version to this. Nope. So if you want it, you're going to need to be able to have it shipped in Japan and then shipped here.
I think half the people that watch and listen to our show actually know somebody that can get it for them.
Probably.
Definitely.
But I'm looking at this and it's cool. It's a little bit more high tech than your standard, heated blanket. But at the same time, I can get 2 heated blankets and sew them together, and it's still cheaper than this.
Well, how about this? A kigu with heating elements throughout the lower part of the onesie.
I guess that would work too.
Yeah. I mean, the way it's designed, if they went to the drawing board and played around with some more, they could have turned it into a friggin' kigu.
Yeah, this actually kind of reminds me when the Snuggies were really popular.
Yeah.
Um it actually looks like two Snuggies that are put together, and then the arms of all of them are just wrapped around your waist instead of actually through your armholes. So, but yeah, it's definitely look cozy looking. But at the same time, I still want a kotatsu.
Of course you do, Miss Kobayashi.
There's something just having that table and being able to be around, and curled up under the table and eating tangerines.
Lord.
Happy New Year.
Man, listen. That's all I gotta say. All right. Now, this next story. It's from the organizers of Comiket. They want otaku to get some exercise before the return of Comiket. You heard right. For 44 solid years, no matter what else was going on in the world, otaku could count on Comiket happening. It started in 1975 and it's become Japan's largest gathering of self-published doujinshi manga creators. And the con itself grew exponentially in popularity, eventually evolving into what you see now, an event that happens twice a year, August and December, for 3 days. And when Comiket comes around, you know it. And also, if you've watched animes where they talk about going to Comiket and those long lines, yeah, that's basically it. Now, the chain of the otaku memories were broken back in 2020 when COVID hit, and it canceled Comiket 98. And Comiket has been postponed a few times, but back in August, they announced that Comiket 99 will happen December 30th and 31st, which is kind of surprising. It's the end of the year, and you have New Year's celebrations right after, They're hoping that it'll happen barring any worsening of public health conditions. Now, with the infectious numbers decreasing in Japan, it does look like Comiket will really return. But at the same time, organizers have some advice for otaku that want to go to this event. Get some exercise. Rise from the couch and get some exercise. Now, you have to understand, Comiket takes up several halls at the sprawling Tokyo Big Sight Convention Center, and the focus on the small independent creative circles selling wares are in very limited quantities means fans will have to cover a lot of ground quickly to get the most out of their time at the convention. Think about it. When you're going to a con and you know exactly what you want in the dealer's room, you make that mad dash to get everything that you want before you get out. That's basically what that is. But with a 2-year gap since the last Comiket, dozens of smaller regional anime events also canceled, and the safety impetus of living stay-at-home lifestyle during that time, a lot of otaku they're basically saying otaku have gotten lazy. And I mean, I'm not going to pass judgment for obvious reasons, which is why I've been going back to the gym for the most part, And they're basically saying, before you come down, you might want to get some exercise so you can be in good shape to go up and down these hallways to get the doujins that you want.
Yeah, I mean, we have talked about stories on people that have passed out from waiting in lines for so long. One guy had a heart attack while he was, at the convention. So even before the pandemic and people still going and walking to work and doing everything that they needed to do, it was still not, as a good thing. So for them to actually say, hey guys, you remember what you have to do to actually be able to come here and enjoy it, it's weird, but it's helpful.
Yeah.
Kind of. Sort of.
I mean, now, I know people during this pandemic that have been walking while playing like Pokemon Go and other games and being very careful and so forth. There are people who got DDR machines that are playing DDR. Some are playing Ring Fit and so forth. So, everybody's doing their best, but, just better safe than sorry. Because I'll tell you this. I mean, when I went to AAC, I'll say I was fine. I did my walking around. It wasn't as bad, So it was all good in the hood. So
Well, yeah, but even though you've been out of work, you still live in New York.
Yeah.
So you're still, doing the walk to get everywhere.
Right. I went. I went from basically leaving the house once a week, to grab groceries and so forth, to now I'm walking about every day. It's like when I started going back to work, I was feeling it in my knees going up the stairs. I have to go up two sets of stairs to get to the platform, and another 2 set to leave the platform to go to my job. And it's gotten a little bit better. It's not so bad. I don't feel myself stopping. It's just that my knees kind of suck. So that on top of we're all wearing geek masks, and the material isn't as thin as a disposable mask, so you're doing a little more heavy breathing, so it kind of gets to you. But it's not so bad for me in the long run. So that, and I lost about 5.5 pounds. So
nice.
Thanks. I think it's because of that, and there's a lot of beverages at work, which is why I had to run off earlier. I sit there and I drink a lot of water, or, they have like this machine that makes beverages for you. So I've been drinking low calorie Arizona iced teas and other stuff, and it helps. That, and the sensible lunches that they give us. And sometimes when you get like the Euro meal, and it looks like they put a pound of meat in your go box. So, and you're just like, oh, well, look at that. We got through everything. We got time to spare.
Nice.
I think we should roll up on out of here.
You mean I get to go to bed early?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to sit in bed.
And read your smut.
Yeah, sleep does not come very well right now, so.
No, and I totally get that. But anywho, if you like the show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. We do this for the fun of it. So what we tell you that we like and don't like, we're being straight up about that. So that's who we are. If you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. And don't forget to check out our website, animejamsession.com, where you'll find our weekly podcast, anime reviews, cosplayer tips and tricks, cosplayer interviews, links to our YouTube page of convention coverage, links to our Facebook fan page of cosplay photos, and a lot more. Editorials, all that cool stuff at animejamsession.com. And don't forget, you could take the show on the go with you. Whatever you use for catching podcasts, just do a search for Anime Jam Session and we'll come up. So definitely check out not just this episode, Hear It Again, or older episodes. We appreciate that. And what's cool is like some of these apps, like Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify, and so forth. Some of them will allow you to leave reviews, so leave a review if you can. We'd appreciate that. And the support, social media. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, Anime Jam Session. Our YouTube has all of our convention videos, which I believe I'll have some going up this week. Twitter, when we're going live, articles and so forth on our website. And on Facebook, where my photo cosplay coverage is. And some of that, and that'll be going up next week, hopefully. I'm still working on a small backlog and so forth. And don't forget our tip jar. down below is links to our Streamlabs, our Ko-Fi. You can drop bits in the chat for us. Every little bit helps, and it goes to keep the show going. And so, they go around. Last words, Mako-chan.
I want to sleep.
My last words is, I got the crispy fried thighs from Wingstop. I got 7 of them. I'm full on 5, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to eat the last 2 tonight. That might just be dinner for tomorrow. Then I realized how much meat are on those thighs, but it was tasty. So I think I might just have like a scoop of ice cream and call it a night. We'll see. But anywho, that is it. End the list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Ari will be here. Hopefully, Wild Spice will be here. It'll be fun. So, I'm Ranma.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Night.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. We're out of here. See you next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on the show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it! For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!